With a bold approach, Nicolantonio employs the Parc defense against Demuth in this French Top 16 Club Championship 2025 higher pool round 4 match. On e4. On d6 transposed into Parc defense. On d4. Knight f6. Threatening knight takes e4. Knight c3 played by Nicolantonio. Knight c6. Knight f3. On g6. Bishop e3. Bishop g7. Queen d2. King castled kingside. On d5. Threatening pawn takes c6. Knight b8 played by Demuth. King castled queenside. On c6. King b1. On takes d5. On takes d5. Bishop g4. On h4 it is novelty move. Knight bd7. On h5. Bishop takes h5. Bishop h6. Rook c8. Bishop takes g7. King takes g7. Bishop b5. On a6. Threatening pawn takes b5. On g4 played by Nicolantonio. Rook takes c3. Queen takes c3. Bishop takes g4. Bishop e2. On h5. Demuth might go for Queen b6. Knight d4. Bishop takes e2. Knight takes e2. Queen takes f2 and dominate the board. Knight d4 played by Nicolantonio. Threatening bishop takes g4. Bishop takes e2 played by Demuth. Knight takes e2. Queen b6. Threatening queen takes f2. On f4 played by Nicolantonio. Queen c5. Queen takes c5. Knight takes c5. On c4. Rook c8. Rook c1. Knight d3. Threatening knight takes c1. Rook c2 played by Nicolantonio. Knight f2. Threatening knight takes h1. Rook f1 played by Nicolantonio. Threatening rook takes f2. Knight to e4 played by Demuth. Threatening rook takes c4. On b3 played by Nicolantonio. On h4. Knight g1. Rook b8. Knight f3. On b5. Demuth intends to play. On takes c4. Rook takes c4. Knight takes d5 and seizes the initiative. On takes b5 played by Nicolantonio. On takes b5. Knight takes h4. Knight takes d5. Rook e1. Knight ec3 check. King b2. Nicolantonio might go for Rook takes c3. Knight takes c3. King takes c3 and dominate the board. On b4 played by Demuth. Demuth's idea is to play Knight takes f4. Rook takes e7. On g5. Knight f3. On g4. Knight e1. Rook a8. King c1. Knight takes a2 check and take decisive advantage. On a3 played by Nicolantonio. On takes a3 check. King takes a3. Knight b5 check. King b2. Knight d4. Threatening rook takes b3 check. Rook c4 played by Nicolantonio. Rook takes b3 check. King c1. Threatening rook takes d4. Rook d3 played by Demuth. Demuth's idea is to play knight takes f4. Rook takes e7. Knight fe2 check. Rook takes e2. Knight takes e2 check, and establish a winning position. Knight g2 played by Nicolantonio. On e6. Rook d1. Knight e2 check. King c2. Nicolantonio is planning to play rook takes d3. On g5. On takes g5. On f5. On takes f6 check. King takes f6. King b2. King e5, and secure a stronghold in the game. Rook g3. Nicolantonio had no choice but to throw in the towel.